Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is the Lost Watch Vlog, Season 3, Episodes 16 and 17. The survivors and Juliet that were at the barracks are going back to the beach. Jack tells Kate that he made a deal with Ben to leave. Saeed tries to get more information from Juliet, but Jack stops him. Back at the beach, Claire is sick, and Charlie offers to help Aaron. In the flashback, Juliet is leaving for the job that Richard offered her, not knowing that she is going to the island. Her sister drops her off, and she says she will be back before her baby is born. Once they are inside, Richard has her drink a glass of juice with a sedative. She hesitates, and then does it. She wakes up on the submarine. At first I thought this would have been a stretch, but I probably would have done the same thing. Like, at this point, she has to be super curious about what's going on, because they've done and known things that are really in depth, more than anybody should actually be able to know. And I still haven't quite figured out how they know all this extra information. They know all these details about stuff that I don't see how they would possibly know them. Later on, she is operating on a woman who is pregnant with Ethan and Goodwin, and the patient dies. She talks to Ben, who she says she thinks the issue is at conception, and that she wants someone to leave the island and conceive, but Ben says no one is allowed to leave. Juliet asks to go home to her sister, and she is told that her sister's cancer has come back, but that Jacob can heal her if she stays on the island. I'm really curious about who Jacob is and why he can cure cancer. Why is Jacob so powerful that he's able to cure cancer? Or everybody seems to follow him no matter what. Like, he seems to be some sort of god creature. Maybe not, I don't know. But he seems very powerful compared to what we've seen. I mean, the island itself is definitely special. Maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. Juliet is given x-rays of Ben's back, and she sees that he has a tumor. She says he is lying about her sister, but he won't let her leave. In the morning, Flight 815 crashes, and they go to the flame station to find out information, and she finds out that her sister is fine. Later, Juliet and Ben are discussing the plans for the current events. She is told to handcuff herself to Kate, and we find out that there was an implant for Claire to make her sick so that Juliet can save her and gain the trust of the group. Back on the island, Hurley talks to Juliet, tells her that the last other was Ethan, and they killed him. In the evening, Jack and Saeed argue about trusting Juliet, and Jack says that he does. Claire gets sicker, and Juliet tells Jack and Kate that she is why Claire is sick, and that it has to do with the medication for the pregnancy. And the women on the island are not able to have babies, and that Claire was the first one. Juliet says there is medicine nearby that will heal Claire. She goes to go get it and is followed by Saeed and Sawyer, but she doesn't answer their questions, and she says that they have violent pasts and they are no place to judge. Jack gives Claire the medication, and she gets better. He says he trusts Juliet because she wants to get off the island just like them. Overall, I like this episode. Juliet has a good backstory and is really trying to be a good person. She is just controlled by Ben at this point. The next episode starts off with a Desmond vision where him, Charlie, Hurley, and Jin are in the jungle and set off one of Rousseau's traps, and Charlie is killed. There is then a parachute and a person in a tree. In the flashbacks, Desmond is living in a monastery where he had to take a vow of silence. Desmond gets a visitor, and he punches Desmond. So, somebody is obviously upset with Desmond for something that he's done in the past. Desmond goes to visit his ex, who we find out he was supposed to get married, but left her after 6 years, 1 week before the wedding, for the monastery. She says that he was scared and that's why he left, whereas he said it was a calling for God. I think I agree that he was scared. I mean, clearly we know this is probably the first time that he did it, but he has done it a second time, so he definitely has commitment issues and is afraid of the future. I mean, I can kind of understand that, but he's really doing this in a very poor manner to handle this and just walking out on all these women. I like Desmond overall, but he acts out of fear a lot. Later he gets drunk off monastery wine and is kicked out. While he is loading the wine into a customer's car, he meets Penny. Back on the island, Desmond gets Hurley to take him to the cable he found in the water. Hurley gets him to tell him that he had a vision. He gets Jack to give him a first aid kit for their hike. Kate and Sawyer talk, and she tells him that Jack saw them have sex. Desmond gets Hurley to get Jin and Charlie to come along so that his vision can happen. He tells Charlie a little about his vision. They set up camp near the cable, and they see a helicopter in the sky, and it crashes into the ocean, and they see a beacon flashing in the sky. Desmond wants to follow it, but Charlie makes them wait until morning. Kate tries to talk to Jack, but he mostly ignores her, and he eats dinner with Juliet, and so Kate goes up and sleeps with Sawyer. Their love triangle thing is kind of annoying at this point. Like, I'm kind of over it. Like, we get that they all like each other, and there's sexual tension between all of them, but they just need to, she just needs to pick or not date either of them, have some self-control, or talk out your feelings, or whatever it needs to be. They're acting very childish and very high schoolish, it seems to me. Desmond and the group go into the jungle in the morning. They find a doll, a backpack, and a phone and a book with a picture of him and Penny. So they think Penny is the one who parachuted onto the island. Sawyer gets mad at Kate for using him to get back at Jack, as he rightfully should. Charlie hits the trap that is supposed to kill him during a discussion about superheroes, and Desmond saves him. Charlie gets mad at Desmond for not telling him about the visions. Jin and Hurley have found the parachute. They cut the person from the tree, and she is injured, but it turns out to not be Penny. But she does know who Desmond is. So that's I'm kind of curious to see where that goes, who this actually is, what is their agenda. I don't necessarily trust anybody on this island outside of the survivors themselves to look out for the survivors. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with other Lost fans.